207. Pasta, it is the weekend. I know it's broken. It's broken as heck, man. Yeah. Oh, 07 Fenra. I did see that. Enter at your own risk. So they got some work to do come next week. A lot of work. Hope it goes well for them, though, for sure. Really hope it goes well for them. A lot of weird stuff going on with the game right now. Getting those servers lined up. I presume just moving things on from its current state to dynamic server meshing. I don't think that process has ever actually stopped. But 1 second. Make some adjustments on the lighting here. As if they can just be a little more aggressive now. Just a bit. Feature stability. Just further move towards 1.0. Further movement is definitely needed. And I think it's a major restructure that's going on behind the scenes right now. Hence the issue with server degradation. Where are you, area 18? Let's see. Yeah, so they're looking towards dropping in the new tech preview with engineering tomorrow at some point. So that has to be a thing. That has to happen. Yeah, it may take them a couple of weeks to put things together. They also have IAE that's on the horizon too. IE needs to happen. So, a lot going on, man. Yeah, forward progression is great as long as they work on the foundation. The fixing long-standing game-breaking bugs with fixes that will hold, and maintaining old content so that it all works, even when they drop the new flavor of the month content. Yeah, everything basically. To sum it up, it sounds like they need they need foundational pillars in game, and whether or not when they decide to move forward, don't move forward until you have the pillars in, everything is stabilized, and then, and only then, you're ready to really move forward. But I think it could be a little deeper than that. I think the core of the engine has to be vetted out and has to be stabilized, which you try to bring in new content as well. You don't want to be bogged down with the foundational or the engine itself. So for 4.4 will be the IE patch. My thoughts on that, I thought of that too. Yeah, he said, oh my God, I forgot about IE. For runners at this next IE and IWL, you should start finalizing CCU chains. Interesting. My thoughts on how we look at IE and well, it's do you go ahead and put the event in first, and then once the event is over, then you come back with a clean slate for everything without the IE stuff? Or can they remove it cleanly without it being a problem? If they can remove it cleanly and it's not a problem, then yeah, by all means, yeah, IE and 4.4 could work. Invictus. That's Invictus launch week. Is that what that is, Invictus? Yeah. Yeah, and then there's the December patch that I'm hearing that we're going to see things in December as well. Yeah, Invictus. That's military. Invictus, that's the military-based convention. So, oh, what is that? That special effects noise. It really, really is. Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a ride for them. There's going to be some complex things going down with CIG, but it's only going to make them better. They're only going to get better at what they do. But yeah, it's just time to figure out what's going on with the code, the Star Engine code. And I'm afraid that that's not over yet, and that will take some time. But I think they will continue to try and figure out what can be fixed, and the deeper issues. I think that will be tackled, especially by next. Well, especially for next year, not by next year. They'll complete that. What's the aim for at Shibasta? The Invictus. Pretty happy with my fleet. I don't think I have any CCU chains. I have a CC. I have a. Is that the buyback? I think I have a buyback for the Ranger, which I think I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be iconic. It's gonna be iconic. The net coding for next year. Yeah, I think because we don't have dynamic server meshing in right now, I think all roads are leading up to getting it in, and then there should be some sort of announcement for next year with dynamic server meshing finally being a complete feature. I think it's going to put us in a good place or an interesting place. But we should see better performance. And it could be it could very well be the fact that the system is unable to support all the things that they're adding, that there's a possibility once they get to changing things and making it more robust, meaning having that scalability, you'll probably see a lot of the issues go away. Yeah, there's a chance of that, right? There is a chance for that to happen. But yeah, netcode, dynamic server meshing, more systems to be added. I wonder, will we see Castra put on the list for next year? I definitely believe that. Terra should be placed on the list, right? Because we're getting close to the 1.0 narrative of saying, hey, we are there, we're complete. And we might get a little extra with Magnus. It's there, it's Drake, it's the ship's manufacturer, it's home planet. I'd be okay with that. But I think we're going to see more planets than anything else for next year, especially with Genesis changing things over. And I don't think it's going to take as long for with Stanton. Now, granted, they're going to look to add specific locations in regards to the interiors. You had the lower depths still for Area 18. You have revamp work for Lorville, the interior. They stated that. So we're going to see how that plays out and what kind of time sink that will impact CIG, right? But then the other thing is the positive. The Squadron 42 team, I don't know what that number is, right? We don't know what that number is, but those numbers will come over to this side of the they're going to move over to they're going to move from Squadron 42 to this to Star Citizen, the MMO. But then keep in mind, completed features from Squadron 42 should come over to us as well. So you're going to get a boatload of a lot of new stuff, or features, not stuff, but features. Again, the system, once they add scalability, dynamic server meshing, being able to scale, that should help the Star engine in itself, where the system will be more robust. Optimization should be much better. So it could very well translate to more stability, or better stability for the game overall. But we're gonna see. We're definitely gonna see. So I don't see flight model for this year. If it is, I don't know. It's going to be a surprise if it comes by December. But that'll be on the docket for next year as well, the flight model. There's a lot of things at play though, and it's just the state of being the game is in right now. We're in a waiting state with a lot of the features, and it makes you wonder: is it? How is it going to be channeled? How is it going to, be delivered in a timely manner? What combinations work together? What has to go in before what? It's a lot of variables. One way to really figure things out would be through tech preview or PTU, and to see how well these features kind of play out. That's going to be interesting. Mirai is destroyed.
Your insurance claim has been. Thank you.
Okay, that's destroyed. Well, I'm going to claim that Onyx facility. What is it doing there?
Your insurance claim has been sent.
I bring that back. Oh, it's on L2. That's why. L1.
Your vehicle has been delivered.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think CIG will be. They'll be back at. They'll be back at the helm. They'll be back at the helm by Monday. They're gonna get data, pull data in, and see what's going on, and turn it around. But it's a tale of two cities. There's excitement on one end of what's coming. You have Nix, or pieces of it, Levski Delamar landing zone. You have that. Then you have what's going on with the servers. You got some excitement. You have bits of disappointment, and then there's this element of what's going on. Where are we headed? That's what it feels like. Is this access panel? It's a lot of different things all over the place. Excitement, disappointment, a lull. And I think the latest is there's server degradation. Things aren't working right. I tell you. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much. Deadpool's dad. Thank you for the follow. 07, Deadpool's dad. Deadpool's dad. Oh, smokes. Goodbye, we missed you. Yeah, gameplay was this year. Okay, I can agree with that. The Valakar, the missions, ASD. Yeah, it showed its potential. Yep, I agree with that. Uh, I should not be throwing down my gun in the middle of a fight when I hit the reload button. Not at all. Yeah, they got to go back and revamp some things, get things right, for sure. Another one lost to space. He's a Jedi now. Who's lost to space? Deadpool. Let me look at assets. Arc L1. Okay, let me try Arc L1. Did I leave it here? I'm trying to think. I'm gonna find out. I will find out very soon. Oh, Space Pirate and Pyro. Is that lore? Sounds like lore. But yeah, we're getting ships now. We're gonna get ships. They're moving away from. CIG's moving away from the concept ship. Ship's not ready to fly, so that's a good thing. That's good. But yeah, we get these stutters in the development side, and we're promised these gameplay stability loops. But I think we just gotta hear it, we get upset about it. But I think it's at the end of the day, they're working through these things. We have high levels of patience and high levels of frustrations at the same time. So it's one of those push pull things, in how we're expecting things and what to expect and anticipation of things. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy on both sides. Deadpool, thank you for the follow. 070707. Hopefully CIG will get this thing fixed, stabilized. But it seems to me I'm not having too bad of a time. But I think it could be the missions that are not acting right, potentially. But we're figuring it out. We're trying to figure it out. I'm going to see about their website, see what's going on, what's the latest. Let me get in here before the door shuts on me. Oh man, flying decoupled, you're actually flying this thing, man. Oh gosh. Okay, let me check my ship. Missions. We kind of talked about this the other night about regarding missions, having places, points of interest, and missions kind of tying together. Like you have places
Welcome.
that should be or that is main hubs in the game. Like what is that? Those big resource centers that they built on the planets and moons, and you go to it. Those are like I look at those as economic hubs, and so it should be missions and things and a lot of activity tied to those. And on occasion things happen randomly. So I think that's your base of stability for long-term mission-based activities at those locations, and for them to tie in to allow them to tie in would be brilliant, right? Oh man, I'm at Arc L2.
Please visit
So
us
it would be
again.
brilliant to have them tie in to the economy, to what happens, the cause and effect, the ripple effects, uh, that that kind of thing, right? So you get word that there's a big stock of Behringer weapons, and that's coming in. Runner, gets intercepted or whatnot, or that information is paid for, and that becomes a mission giver. And so you act upon it. You get a raid party, pirates. You take on either you try to stop the ship, disable it in mid-flight, or to the resource center. You take on their security guards, which are actual people, because there's a mission giver to protect that shipment of Behringer weapons, and you fight them. You can potentially disable them, or let's say that doesn't happen. There's a two-prong attack. Maybe there's multiples or organizations that work together, like different pirate organizations that could work together. The first wave is try to disable the ship in mid-flight, going to that destination. If that fails, they land on the facility. Then you have a ground assault ground group. The second phase of it comes in and tries to hijack the resource center. And then also while you have actually people there, you have actual players delivering goods, and it all happens at chaos ensues, right? Things like that. It would work well with the day-to-day activities, and missions are generated from them because they're economic hubs, and there's a cause and effect and a reason to do what you do. And so those are physical items that you can actually pirate and confiscate, sell, and then on occasion to really incentivize it, to make sure people really take advantage of it. You get intel that there are rare items they're going to deliver, really rare stuff. We're witnessing how we gravitate to now rare items. That would be a huge thing. Confiscating goods and such, and playing, and cementing that into the fabric of the game itself. And people are drawn to loot, and especially rare loot. So that would be great for the game. And you just leverage it with NPCs and players alike intertwining together to make mission givers and make exciting adventures of trying to, just procure goods, take over goods, Would be great. Let's see here. I'm going to. Okay, I want it. Now I'm confused. Was it Arc L2? Oh God, man. Hold on. Whichever one is further away. Okay, that one's further away. Let's go there. So yeah, man. We'll be around for what happens. I think when things go wrong and we stay away from it, CIG has to fix it, bring people back, and keep them engaged. But they know full well IE is going to be a good year for them. Perseus first foremost, that ship potentially being released next month. Big deal, very big deal. I think the municipal works is their opportunity to. I think it's a great opportunity for them to capitalize or embed gameplay features that should be a staple or anchor for the game. I think with the municipal works, the underground, lower depths, turn the pipes on, get the sewer working type deal, I think it presents a great opportunity for them. So I would layer it with a combination of creatures, pest control, radicals down there trying to disrupt things, a combination of things, toxins. You have to work through, add in layers of engineering at any given time based on those mission parameters. You have an opportunity. 07 Real Exodus. He's about. It's called Star Citizen. 07 Real Exodus. 07. Yeah, it's. I think a lot of people are going to jump in to kind of see what's going on with, let's say, Nyx, the star system. And then you have the ability to jump to Stanton and Pyro from Nyx, right? You have that capability. 2 different jump points now, which is going to be unique. When you have Stanton and Pyro, it's a one-way ticket, whereas Nyx is in the middle of both. So you have one jump to Pyro, you have the other jump to Stanton.
Landing gear down.
Which makes for a really good, really cool dynamic. Looking forward to that. Now, the differences, I'm wondering, will we see a dramatic difference when jumping to Nyx, right, from Stanton or Pyro? Or it should be the same, I guess. But we know and we see the jump points, or the jump point. It's only one jump point between Stanton and Pyro. Nyx is going to propose that, hey, there's a jump point going to Stanton, there's a jump point going to Pyro. Will they look different? Or will Nyx jump point stay the same? So I guess those two, no matter what, will be the same. Yeah, it has a lot of potential, economic value, gameplay value, logistics, adding logistic value. When you talk about, making a few jumps, what does it what does it do to the fuel? What does it do to making it, you know, it, it potentially will make it a little more risky too, because you could be jumping from Pyro, running from some pirates from Pyro, jumping to Nyx, and then you have to run from the Vandal. Man, so you will catch a break. Sometimes you may not be able to catch a break at times,
Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
but that's what we want. That's the excitement we need. That's how we keep our heads on the swivel. That keeps us engaged. So I would imagine it's something similar to what they've been doing with Arena Commander, where you get waves and waves of Vandal attacking, and it ramps up. Each wave ramps up. It all depends, right? It should be random, but I think it should scale according to the type of ship you have. If you have potentially a Perseus sitting around or Polaris watching things, it should ramp up to the extent that they're not safe as well, and it will get to that.
Your vehicle has been delivered to
But it gives it a new layer. It gives it a potential, gives gives a layer of excitement that we're getting this third system, and eventually we'll get the planets for next year. Hopefully early first quarter next year, but I suspect second to third quarter. That would be the window of the fully fleshed out Pyro happening. I'm sorry, Nyx, not Pyro, but Nyx. And also, they're going to revamp the existing systems with the Genesis, formerly Planetary Tech 5 tools. It's going to be pretty neat, man. And of course, we're going to get more creatures. Hopefully, by next year, we'll get the Stalker for Microtech. We'll get the Whippet Crab for Pyro. Pyro needs more apex predators, dangerous creatures. We'll be able to scatter around. We may even get better stability because of that. We're scattered around. But I think what would be a good thing for CIG or to do, not saying they need to do it, but it would be a great idea, would to start working on NPCs and making them impactful even more so. Add more complexities to them as far as how they fight, and then eventually at some point have them be a part of these crews of multi-crewed ships, right? Because now that we're getting engineering, matter of fact, the testing is going to start tomorrow. It's a thing of you're going to need help with these large ships. So what better way to do that or to help with that is create the NPCs. And I would say the low-hanging fruit concept, where's the low-hanging fruit in creating NPCs part of your ship? I would say start with the medical doctor. Start with the medical, right? That would be your doctor. Start with medical. Then I would say beyond that, someone performing scanning. That would be cool. Who else? What else would be ideal for NPC multi-crew? Let's see. Who would it be? Who would be good for that? Medical scanning. Oh, security for sure. Security would be great. That would be that's another one. That should have been the first one I should have thought of. Medical. I mean, security would be great. Red shirts. You know the style of Star Trek. Red shirts would be great to involve them. Um, let's see. Let's see. Red shirts, medical, scanners, people to scan. Maybe someone who would work in the turrets, doing the turret work, right? That would be ideal for multi-crew ship gameplay. That would work. Oh seven Vic. Oh seven.
Quantum travel complete.
What is this? Oh, it's a mining station. And mining supposedly is going to be more dangerous. It's going to get a little more dangerous in game. I think I've seen this a couple of times, but not up close. Um, I wonder if these will be functional at some point. Okay, let's head to a moon. Let's try Walla. Wait a minute, Walla is far. Let's see, Lyria is closer. Let's go Lyria. Lyria makes much more sense. We're close by. But I suspect that we're going to see engineering come online real soon. I don't think they're going to be really messing around with it. I think they're going to try and get it to the live as soon as possible because they've been working on this well over a year. Well over a year. Okay, here we go. Shubin.
Quantum travel engaged.
All right. Okay, we're almost there.
Quantum travel complete.
All right.
Evening, Kimmy. How you
Oh,
doing?
7. What's going on, Arbiter?
Oh, not much.
Oh
I
man,
hopped on this and said, "Oh, damn, Kimmy's on." Go ahead and see what's happening.
what's going on? Hey, are you ready for that engineering test tomorrow?
Oh, they're doing. Was that for the tech preview
Yes, engineering.
for? And that's Eva Cotty or?
I think it's going to go Eva
everybody.
Cotty for a minute, but I suspect that we're going to see, I think, a quick progression moving over to tech preview for everyone at some point. I think they want to get it done for the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, ideally they should get it to everybody as soon as possible, because, you know,
Oh, shit.
you know the narrative that they say, oh, we don't have enough concurrency when it goes
Yes.
to PTU.
Yes.
Well, the sooner the better. you
Yes.
know.
Yep.
And everybody wants to play the way. I would think the community would want to be involved in stuff like that. So
I
that's a
agree.
big milestone.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's going to change forever how you fly your ship, especially if it's, even the single-seated ships, you're going to do everything from the UI on the screen. But yeah, everything that's multi-crewed, it's going to change everything forever in regards to how you fly your ship, who you need on that ship. So the more people, the better feedback they're going to get, or the more feedback they're going to get to dial it in, because they want to move fast with this, so that then
Yes.
it's going to go into the hands of John Crew and everybody who does
Right.
UI. So it's a lot of departments it has to sift through. So it's going to determine, when they go to put together a ship, and especially if it's a multi-crewed ship, all those factors have to be integrated into that. So they got to get that in quick, because what did they say? They're gonna move away from concept ships. So, all right, if you're going away from concept ships and you're being held up and the process for engineering is taking long to get into the game, so what does this say about their main moneymaker?
Well, I don't think they'll ever stop selling. Well, there may not be concept ships, but I think they'll, instead of showing us what's coming up as far as the new ship, it'll just like, straight to flyable. This is
Right.
our new ship or whatever, and then everybody will be surprised about, oh, damn,
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming,
Correct.
So
Yeah.
now, I don't know what the plans are to sustain as far as server costs and stuff like that. So that I know they said that they wouldn't do a mandatory subscription to play the game, but obviously, you gotta pay the servers, you gotta pay the devs,
Yes.
and if you're not rebuying the game, most MMOs you gotta rebuy the game every year.
Oh
Typically,
wow.
that's through a DLC or an expansion of some sort,
Okay.
or a mandatory subscription. So, like prime example, WoW does that. You would buy
Oh, wow.
the expansion, and then also you have to have a subscription. But I think there are like certain areas that you can go to that that doesn't require a subscription, and then like certain skills you get access to. But I don't know the ins and outs of it because I've never played WoW, but this is just word of mouth from a friend of mine that has played it before.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so they're gonna have to find a funding model that is providing stable funding for the company, unless they renege on that statement and said, no, we're going to continue to do concept ships,
right.
which is fine, but I want them to be with the what's the terminology? It needs to have a gold pass. It
Gold
needs to come
standard.
out gold plated,
Yeah.
gold standard. That's right.
Yep.
Gold standard.
Yep.
That's right. So that's just my concern is that we're getting some of these new ships and not all of their features are accessible as far as interacting with the quantum drive and the coolers and
Correct.
so on and so forth. So we need to get in groove of when they release a ship, it's gold standard.
Yeah. So it does tie in with, okay, say for example, just what you said, we already have an existing issue with you get the ship in your hands, you fly it. Oh, this is nice. It's nice and shiny. It's from a different manufacturer and it does this said thing. But then you go into it and you say to yourself, wait a minute, now that we've stated that there's engineering, and let's say they stuck to we're not going to sell you a ship until it's flight ready. So you've done that. So now you're flying a ship that's halfway done because you don't have engineering done. But yet this multi-crew ship will have, and it's got to have engineering. So let's say they're taking their time with engineering. Now you have that painstaking period of waiting for, well, when they need to bring this up to standard, or this ship flies, but it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And the last thing you want to hear is, oh, we're waiting to go back to this ship to give it a gold standard. And we're like, oh my gosh, here we are looking at gold standard again.
Standard again, exactly.
But
and that's I don't think a lot of people are gonna. Well, there are always gonna be those individuals who are vocally loud about those things.
Yeah.
But eventually, the rest of the community will be like, "Come on, man, we've been here for 12 years, close to, and we haven't solidified approach to releasing ships. We need to get into a groove of, and this is what Richard Tyra said. He said, no more tier 0. So I'm taking your word, Rich. So let's get to it.
Yeah. I just want, that's why I say, it would make sense for them to go ahead and get the engineering done so that that's incorporated into the ship build. So when John Crew, it goes to him, he has the engineering part done, or the engineering is already incorporated into the concept. It's established of, okay, it's a multi-crew ship. It's going to be built a certain way because that's the standard now. And
that's right.
As opposed to you're flying around and say, I want to see what this is like. Well, let's say the Carrack. The Carrack is one of those ships, is a prime example of, I'm flying around a ship that does not have its full potential or does not have all the tools necessary that makes it a complete ship. And you're still waiting for that, and you're wondering when you're going to get it. That's the same thing with engineering, to the point of, why do they need to go ahead and get this into our hands sooner than later so they can get it done? And so that way, all the people who potentially play it or want to play it, it comes across to their computer a certain way. Everybody's computer is different. So you and I, it may work well with our computer, but maybe some people in chat, wait a minute, why am I getting this and you're getting that? That's where CIG has to step in and say, okay, we see it. We understand why. So now you fix as much as you can. Now, will it be perfect? Probably not. But you get it into everyone's hands and try to get all the edge cases of this will make it work as best as possible, because everybody's had the potential to touch it, and we have, for the most part, all the case points of things that could and went wrong. They went wrong. Now we've built up. We made the software more robust, or the code more robust, to work better. And so now he can go ahead when he makes his ships or have the concept and then build them up, build them out, distribute them, and they're flight ready. It has most of the features that it's supposed to have, especially with the engineering part, which will then keep people engaged. They'll be more happy with it as opposed to, hey, you gave me half-baked goods.
That's right. That's right. So I mean, so I have faith that they'll have a foundation for ships going forward, and
Yes.
and I mean that obviously, like I said, things aren't going to be perfect. Granted, you have people who are still running on these boo-boo computers. I mean, if you still
Potatoes,
got a 1080,
potatoes.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you need to go
man.
ahead and retire that 1080 and get you. I understand you can't get like the latest and greatest,
1080 Ti.
but you better, you know what I'm saying? You better go ahead and get you a 30 series or something.
Yeah, at least.
But
At
you
least.
know, at minimum, right?
Yeah, it's funny, but not funny, but funny that you mentioned that, and a lot of times you have those squeaky wheels, and you say to yourself, could that be the case? And here's the thing: no one is going to say my computer is not, or I'm getting these bugs, or it's not working. And let me tell you this: my computer is 7 years old. You will never hear anybody admit to CIG or anybody else that is the case with their computer. All you'll hear is, this is broken, this doesn't work for me. But they'll never tell you they got a potato computer. And so I think that's where CIG has to step in and really bring up those minimum requirements. I get it, CIG. You want to give people, you want to make the money, the opportunity, you want people to buy into it. I get it. But at the end of the day, you're going to lose people because you're stating the bare minimums are this, and they have an 8-year-old computer trying to run it, and you know very well it does not run on an 8-year computer, let alone probably a 4-year computer.
Right. Just like based off of the minimum, they say you only need 16 gigs, right?
No.
And,
Wow.
From my experience, if you have under 32,
You in trouble.
you crash a lot.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
But once you get at least 32 gigs, the game stabilizes. You're
Yep.
not crashing a lot, or you don't see the message out of RAM or whatever.
Yeah.
Some people have to do a page file, but I think it does that by default when
Yeah.
you install the game.
Yes.
So, they, like you said, they need to update those minimum standards on the website. At the very least, a 20 series and 24 gigs of RAM. But I would go all the way up to 32. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
let's
that's start.
just be real.
Yeah, that's start. To be optimum is 64. To go like beyond, above and beyond, 128. It'll work on 128. I mean, it
without
sounds
that.
extreme. Yeah, but optimal should be 64. Minimal should be 32. Also, why play around with Windows 10? Say Windows 11. Just go ahead and say Windows 11. Or a better performance on Windows 11. Because Windows 10 is going out the door. It won't be supported anymore. I think it's already not supported, correct?
Yes, at the end of this month, it will be retired.
Yeah, so there should be no reason why they should have Windows 10 on the specs of as a user for a Star Citizen at all. Because that puts people
That's
in
right.
jeopardy because it's not protected.
Not protected at all. The last security update will be probably on the 31st, which will probably give those who have Windows 10 maybe 30 days of protection. But outside of that,
Yeah.
whatever, hacker figure out, a window, a back door that's, oh, yeah, I can get in through here.
Yes.
That's your behind right there.
Yeah, and that
You'll
gets
get creeped.
yeah, and that potentially affects CIG as well. So I would just messing around like that. And but yeah, I think they definitely need to revamp their specs way before they get to what do you call it, 1.0. They need to get those specs, reel them in, and be realistic about what will run Star Citizen. And I think you're going to get rid of those edge cases of why is it buggy so much,
Right.
potentially.
Yeah, and then speaking of which, of depreciating things, that DirectX 11, we need to, hopefully when Nix comes online, we will be using Vulkan as the primary renderer instead of
Yeah.
DirectX 11.
Did I mention Vulkan to you with the test tomorrow? They're going to have that in there too as well.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And it needs it.
Yes, 100%.
Yep. And I think the initial part of it was you did see the balance between your CPU, and you saw the CPU and GPU balance out with load. And I think with this next one they drop, this will be the actual Vulkan that will give you all the different options and filtering that you want to use. So it should help the game overall. But yeah, that's going to be a part of it too, the Vulkan.
Yeah,
But
that'll be great to see the performance increase. The last test that I played, it was a pretty significant notice. Although I'm at 4K, so
same here.
any bump, I'll take it.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's the thing. If it's good that they're doing this because you have, and I've said this, it's no way in the world that somebody should have $20,000-$30,000 worth of chips and their computer is working at minimal standards. No, that is wrong. I don't know what your thought process was, where your priorities were, but you should, if you have 30K, 20 to 30K worth of chips, you should be running this game at 4K, nothing less. Period.
Preach,
Oh
brother.
my God.
I'll tell you. I mean, if you got 20 grand, how about you take 5 of that and build you a nice beefy computer?
Yes. yes.
It
Because
don't take much.
yes, because you're gonna have these issues with Star Citizen. Period. But at least you get in, you say, "Wow, this looks amazing," or it plays a lot better than what your old computer was doing. And then so when you run into those issues, it doesn't hit as hard. It doesn't scathe you as hard. But if you're running a potato computer, and then you're just getting in at minimum, and then you run these ships, and you don't get the gameplay experience that you're expecting, and you put it all on CIG and say, hey, it's all on them. No. We can do better.
That's right. Because you gotta meet CIG halfway, and CIG needs to do the same.
Yes.
But that starts with a clear definition on a minimum standard.
Yes.
And and then also depreciating a lot of the older tech, as far as as we were saying, DX11 and onto Vulkan.
Yes. Yeah, Vulkan is it. That's their future. It's gonna work. I think it's a good combination. It allows them to tweak things. It allows them to put more balance on the CPU and GPU, and it's rock solid. Because DirectX, it's kind of what they've been doing for a period of time, where they were supposed to have the support that they were supposed to have. When you think about CryEngine, you see that narrative. They were supposed to support them, they did not. You see Lumberyard, they were supposed to support them, but they did not. Now, granted, Windows itself is supposed to be a thing where they always work towards making something better. And with DirectX 11, you know, we thought DirectX 12 was going to be its successor. But again, they did not. They just felt as though we don't need to do that. They never really pushed the narrative or pushed the envelope of making DirectX even better. And so CIG's sitting here saying, well, we're not going to wait on Windows. You know, we're going to go back to Vulkan because then we can actually push the metal, you know, pedal to the metal, because it has everything we need and more. And it's more options that we can control. It's open source, so we can actually control the narrative to push the game further to make it better. Other than that, it's on your it'll be forever on your wish list, and hoping that at one point, Microsoft will make a move to make it better. It's all up to their discretion. As long as their shareholders are happy, they could care less. You know, I've even stated they should make a gamers version of Windows where it has take out all the gunk and just have it pedal to the metal based on your hardware and things of that nature. Streamline operating system. It would sell. But no, their shareholders are happy, man.
Well, speaking of that, there's a rumor that they're doing that.
Oh my God. What?
So now how soon we'll get that? I'd say they'll probably
Don't hold your breath.
it'll, you know what I'm saying? It'll probably be like a Windows 12 thing, since
Oh my God.
wow. we're depreciating 10. Be it as it may, DirectX 12 is their modern renderer, but the draw calls are limited when it comes to, you know, what CIG needs to, you know, render the worlds and also the creatures and stuff like that. So Vulkan is the way to go. And then that also gives the ability for Linux users to play, even though I think you can still play games on Linux that are DirectX. But you gotta use some trickery, and it should run fairly well.
Oh my God, they talked about Linux decades ago, that it was like the grassroots of operating systems, and it's gonna come around. It's gonna surpass Windows, and people still standing on that hill, man. I'm like, hey, you can have it, man. They were preaching for it to be the next great thing, and it never came to pass. It never turned into that one operating system that people, you know, rely on. But now, granted, give credit where credit is due. A lot of your corporations run things on Linux because of its stability. Yeah,
on the server side, when it comes to cloud, a lot of back-end stuff is ran on Linux.
Yes.
It's simplified. There's not a whole lot of bloat.
Correct.
Unlike Windows.
Exactly. You know. So I guess they found their niche with that, and they say, okay, we're good. We made a statement. So we're good. We're not going any further with it. So they stopped being hungry.
Right. Well, see, with Linux, the main gripe, at least for me, and then I think a lot of other users have, is if you don't know a lot of the commands to, you know, install certain things, because it's heavily terminal based.
Yes.
And if you don't know those commands, you just gonna sit you up shit creek. You're gonna be like, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
But thankfully that we have YouTube. It does, you know, all it takes a few videos to learn some of that stuff. But a lot of people just don't have that patience. They like that plug and play. Microsoft has, you know, dominated in that plug and play feature. Yep. And hopefully one day, you know, even though Linux is open source, hopefully somebody will create a distribution that can be user friendly.
Or GUI.
Basically, you know, have a GUI that's similar to Windows, and have, you know, those driver updates can be done just with a few clicks rather than typing in a few command lines.
I think that would be key. I think you open source, it's open source, and someone come up with that, and like you said, it's a more user friendly type of deal, and people will be more susceptible to want to use it. And then all of a sudden, people are adding their own things to it to make it even that more desirable to use. So there's something to be said about that. But I think at the end of the day, it's about what kind of money can I make off of it. But yeah, you open source that thing, man. Holy smokes! What's the potential for CIG to do it?
I mean, if there's money to be made, they certainly can do it. Although, to a certain extent, Linux is cheaper to run on because you don't have to get like certified
Yes.
certificates that allow you. Because on Windows, if you don't have that certificate, you got to pay basically a license fee to have your driver or software approved within the ecosystem of Windows.
Interesting.
Now you can still install unauthorized or unapproved apps and software. It's just Windows is going to give you a warning. Do you sure you want to install this? It's not approved or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's how Windows kind of has a lock on things to keep the funding coming in.
Yeah.
You pretty much got to pay them some sort of money to have your software running on their OS.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. They didn't really emphasize Vulkan. They kind of want to keep it not secret, but like low key. But they are adding that to engineering and kind of see what comes of it. But I think it's gonna get into our hands sooner than later. I think a lot of players, to some extent, like, the hope is that they get excited about PvP again or want to do it based on working as a crew. Your best version of Star Trek, and you go through, you repeat, you get better, you get better, you get better. And then next thing you know, you have a good working crew that's intuitive with each other. And then you look to be challenged. You'll look for that challenge even more. So I guess that's what they hope with, the engineering side of it. But then they have to start to establish, okay, you want Star Trek or Star Citizen Trek. Now, what do? You got to have a captain's chair. You got to have a navigator. You got to build that out even more, where they can go into different filters for scanning. Engineering, that's already there. We're aware that it's coming tomorrow. You're going to hear a lot about that. What else? The navigation, plotting charts. Cartography.
Basically.
Yeah. Yep. That's going to be a thing. And then with the rotation, potentially they're discussing rotation of systems, planetary bodies within the solar system. That adds into cartography. So now you're making projections on where the ship will go, or what's the distance it needs to go to get to said planet once you enter that system. And then you realize the planet is further away than expected. So you may have to stop to get fuel. So those are the things that your cartographer can relay over to the captain and say, okay, we're going to have to make a stop here first and then journey on, because our quantum fuel or hydrogen is at certain percentage that won't allow us. It all falls into that, Star Trek exploration, life of the starship type of deal.
Right.
But how do you support it? I mean, once you're accustomed to the gameplay, you got to have supporting things around you that make that experience fun. So the first thing should be PvP or PvE. How does that play out? And what are the instances of those encounters? Or what about environmental hazards as well? You're in space, meteor storms, dangerous asteroids and certain systems that are moving in one direction that are dangerous. You have to avoid. Wear and tear of your systems.
Armor.
Armor.
the
Yep.
whole-
Yeah.
But
Yep.
that's Maelstrom.
Yes. Yes. So we didn't get Maelstrom this year. I think a lot of things held us up in order for that to happen. So I'm suspecting that's going to be next year, the Maelstrom system. Will it change salvage? Will it change a lot of things that we do with, especially with it's going to help us to see what do you call it? Crafting will be about. Being able to craft from the Maelstrom system. Also with salvage, right? I want to be able to go to any ship and start scraping or breaking pieces off, right? As opposed to say you can't digest this ship. You should be able to just keep at it. Let's say you have 10 vultures surrounding maybe let's say a Polaris. Let's say a hammerhead. And they should be able to chip away at it each and every time until it's totally consumed, right? Because then you're saying, okay, I'm really doing salvage now, as opposed to the scale of this ship is more than you can consume. That's a limitation due to not having Maelstrom system.
Right. Well, see, the initial, I guess, design for salvage was you were going to be able to essentially have a torch cutter.
Yes.
On the ship, and you would just dice it up so that you could ingest it.
Yes.
But given that they only gave Torsten, I think it
Yeah,
was
it was
like
Torsten.
3 months. And,
I'm so funny. You
he-
remember his name. He is burned in your memory. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, that's the guy with the red hair. And he was sitting up there talking. He said, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
couldn't come through on you with this one with you. He said, Torsten tried his best. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Torsten.
and what we got within less than 3 months, I mean, it definitely was a good starting point.
Yes.
And it did piss off a lot of people
Oh,
with
boy.
the what was that, the Aegis Reclaimer,
Yes.
where the arm
claw.
was supposed to exactly, it's supposed to crush things,
Yeah, the
and
duster.
then cut it down, and now it's just a vacuum cleaner. But you know,
Oh my God.
But,
Yep. Yeah, Torsten.
So-
Oh my God, you remembered his name. Oh my God.
yes, sir.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
seeing that episode.
Yeah.
You should have seen his face. He was like,
Yeah.
"Man,
Yeah.
they told me to make salvage in 2 weeks. That's what I got you before I had to go on holiday.
It's what it is. Have fun. I'm out.
I'm out.
Torsten.
I don't blame him.
Oh yeah. He said, you gonna throw me under the bus? Guess what? This is what you got. It works. I might come back at it. I might not. But this is what
You know
it
what I'm
is.
saying? Exactly.
Torsten. Oh my God! In his videos, he's cut and dry, man. He's got that poker face, man. Jared messed him up, man, for good. On those ISCs, ruined that man. You're gonna put me on the
Yes,
damn
sir.
camera and tell these people you're not getting this. The claw ain't gonna work. No munching claw.
No budget.
No
claw.
munching claw today. See me in
Ooh,
2 years.
Everybody was hot.
Yeah.
And you know,
Oh my God, they
Spec-
got him. Oh
the
my
Spectrum
God.
was on fire.
Oh, it went
And
nuts.
I can understand,
Right.
but everybody, you know, hey, you got to take a deep breath and understand that was a last minute measure, you know, so that we could have something for the holidays.
That's what he
Otherwise,
said.
we wouldn't
Hey,
have
you
had
glad
nothing.
you get this for the holiday? Leave me alone. You get a Hoover. Oh my God, Hoover. Torsten was hot. Is this how you do me? You gonna do me like this at the end of the year? Oh my God, that was raw, man. My man, he had to explain himself on the video. Record it, video. Oh, that was low down, man. That man was just,
100.
oh my God. People were like, wait till I get on Reddit. Wait till I get on Reddit. Oh my God, that was horrible, man.
Horrible indeed. But all those folks who were hooting and hollering, they still here. They ain't going nowhere.
We're not going anywhere. You know, if people were really, really upset or did not care for the game, they
wouldn't
would.
have said nothing.
No, they would. They wouldn't even be playing Star Citizen.
They would have left and said, I'm done. But, you know, when you're vocal, it lets the devs know you still care about the game. So
Yes.
they'll
Yep.
dangle another carrot in front of you and
Yes.
get you distracted.
They'll find a
Get
way.
on to the next.
Yep. They will find a way. But oh my God, you remember his name, Torsten. That's him. But yeah,
Yes,
he's going through it with. I don't know, man. It's one of those things. Do they actually come back to salvage, or did he say this is it? This is it. We're not doing anything else. I don't know. I mean,
They said they were going back to it, but it's just not a priority right now.
yeah,
You know, at that time, well, what I think that was 2023, I want to say.
oh, with Torsten.
Yeah,
Holy
when Salvage
smokes.
came out.
Yeah, yep.
And that was for
That was for the Vulture.
yeah, that was for the Vulture, but at the same time they
They made it available.
Squadron 42 took the limelight, you know.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
a lot of those features associated with Salvage was put on a back burner.
yes, yeah. I think at some point when it comes to Squadron 42, I would say the positives from that, once it releases, of course you get a game. You get a piece of the history of why we play and what it is we're playing and what happened, what occurred. So you have you play through its history and you're supposed to understand more about the game. But I think the positives from that, you know, we state that, hey, the devs who worked on Squadron 42, who are now acclimated to the game even more so, they'll come over and help with the MMO side of it. But also, in addition to that, features that they've been holding on to or not willing to, you know, not willing to reveal them due to potential spoilers, they're supposed to release those features and add them into Star Citizen, the MMO.
Right.
So,
Yeah. To what degree of whatever those features are, we don't know.
yeah,
I don't know. Well, obviously there's going to be engineering in
Yes.
Squadron 40. That's
Yes,
probably
yep.
why we're getting that this
Yes.
year anyways.
yes,
So maybe, you know, Maelstrom might get a little love. It could be a surprise. But most likely that'll probably come next year. The closer
Yes.
we get to, you know, Squadron 42's release, and again, this was projected for 2026.
yeah,
But that, you know, is, you know, subject to change. Big old asterisk. Don't get it twisted. But hopefully they don't make Chris look bad again, because I remember back in 2016 he said that Squadron 42 would be
Yeah.
out in like two months, and that didn't happen. So
yeah. You know what, Arbiter? What was funny? Someone, one of the streamers, did say he did mention that Chris reached out to him, and he asked if he wanted to play the Squadron 42, and I believe he said yes. Yeah, he offered him to. Did he want to play it? So I guess he was using him as a tester, a beta tester for it.
Man,
Yeah, he offered it. This was last week.
oh well, that's good. He find
Yeah.
an ambassador for the game, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, he trusts him. He's not going to spoil it. So I'm sure before he hands it over, it's some sort of signing of an NDA and things of that nature. But yeah, he offered, and I suspect that he's not the only one he's offered that to. I was like, wow, that was okay. That's different. And I said to myself, nah, I'm gonna wait. I would say no.
Yeah.
I would wait.
Yeah, I would rather get the full thing. I'm sure they're probably only going to give him, certain chapters to go, play and test. The whole thing would be interesting because that's just
Yeah,
a
chapter
high risk
one.
of,
Potentially chapter one.
thing.
Yeah, but you could be right. It could be certain parts of it, like a high level demo of it. But then again,
Right.
it could be chapter one. He did not specify. He just said he asked him, did he want to play Squadron 42? Yeah. Yeah, but he's
be
like an
interesting to see
ambassador.
what that
He's an
pans out.
ambassador to the game. And I'm sure he trusts him in regards to NDA and stuff like that. But I thought about it at first, and I said, man, I would love to get my hands on it. But then I said to myself, why would I do that and ruin it for myself? When it's released, I have to play through the bugs, and then it gets released, and everybody else enjoys it 100%. And I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do it again.
Yeah. Well, I'm always, if the game is good, I'll
Yeah.
always go back and replay it, especially if
Yeah.
there's a higher difficulty
Yes.
to play it on, and there's like some sort of achievement associated with that, as
That's
far
true.
as like exclusive armor,
Mhm.
exclusive paint jobs, so on and so forth. I do know that the what is that? The not the Hornet. Is the Lightning? I can't
F8
remember the name
Lightning?
of that combat.
Yes,
Yeah,
F8.
the F8 Lightning
Yep.
is associated with playing it on the hardest difficulty.
Mhm.
That'll give you access to purchase it in game.
Okay.
Or in the PU.
Yeah. Yeah. There was some incentive, and then there's rumors of, let's say you play it on the highest or the most difficult level. At the end, you're inducted into these black ops or this, their special forces type deal. I don't know if that's true or if that's just a rumor, but yeah, there's supposed to be some incentives on. You play it on the extreme level, you get through it. There's some rewards, some extra rewards behind that. So it's like,
Right.
yeah, I want that. I definitely would. That would be worth the replay. Initially, I see myself putting it on the extreme level anyway to start it, and just get through it in one fell swoop. But yeah, I can see myself doing that, or possibly going back in, and it's kind of like a good movie. You miss some parts from watching it, from the first time. You're gonna miss some things,
Right.
and especially if the
Whatever
visuals.
Easter eggs.
Yes, the Easter eggs, finding those. Batman Arkham was like that. It had Easter eggs. You go back. You finish the game, and then the Riddler had those Easter eggs, those clues that you find stuff, or you go back and you find these detective-like clues, and it told you stories about lore and stuff. So yeah, I'm sure they would do some things like that. It'd be worth it.
Would be a nice touch. As far as population counts,
Mm-hmm.
my main concern is desync.
Yeah, that's
It would be
serious.
nice to get into the thousands,
Yeah.
but we're already struggling at we're at 650.
Oh, Chris, remember
now-
on direct on the Citizen on Direct, he said 700. So
700. Okay.
yeah, he said 700. But I'm saying to myself, I said, what is he smoking? I'm like, wait a minute, 700. What's 700? But then I'm looking and I'm seeing server pops going up to 660, and it's not really like, struggling. Yeah, we get the desync and you see things from a distance. You see slight rubber banding, but it's gotten a lot better. But yeah, I think he's pretty much saying, hey, look, we've already set the parameter. Y'all just never got to the point of filling up the server to 700, but that's our cap though. So I tend to believe it. I said, okay, I do see a slight uptick, because it was like 660 in some instances, seeing the servers go up. I said, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but like I said, my main concern is just traffic.
Yeah,
Because, the back end system is already,
strange.
I don't want to say it's struggling. It's just getting congested.
Yeah,
Especially when you've got, let's say you've got 300 players in two different locations doing a whole lot of interacting or shooting. Now the server is having to track that and then synchronize and so on. And then when you bring everybody into one area, the frames tend to go down, like way down. So
Yeah.
that's my main concern when it comes to the higher player counts. I mean, it's one thing to have 1,000 people spread out over the solar system of Stanton or given solar system.
yes.
But the conversion point, when you bring all of those 1,000 in one area, that's where you want to see at least a minimum 60 frames per second
Minimum.
and a server tick rate of 30 frames per second. And
At least.
is that possible? Yeah, only time will tell, because Moore's law is broken. We're constantly improving, so we're not bound by any restrictions as far as compute capability. It's just a matter of bringing that technology online and making it accessible to the public.
Yeah, as Shimpasta said earlier, it's improving that net code in general. But I think, scalability, and they kind of talked about that was an issue too, so hence why they are doing combinations of instancing so they can separate you and get you off that main branch so that you can do some other things where it is not an issue of desync and frame rates tanking or taking a significant hit that's noticeable. So they're using the combinations of things, and to some extent, some of the community said, "Hey, that goes against what they promised," or "I don't agree with that." But when you think about it, and to your point, you've shared and expressed passionately when that does happen, what it does to the gameplay experience. Because I remember we were doing Siege of Orison, and you couldn't because we had a free fly. And we've seen several occasions when they had a free fly, it would tank the experience. So I think overall, in order to make something work or stay consistent, you may have to alter some things. But when you think about it, though, let's say we're going to get the municipal works that you go to the cellar and you basically got to clear the pipes. 07, Ty. It's that experience is instanced, and you can save, and you unlock levels as you go further down. The thing is, if you're enjoying that experience and the NPCs are doing what they're supposed to, it's challenging, it scales up, the last thing I would be thinking about is, damn, this is great, but damn, it sucks that it's instanced because other people can't jump in. I'm having a good time. I could care less if somebody's jumping in. We have the people we need to play this thing through. So it feels good. It plays good. And once it's done, it opens back up. It's not instanced anymore. So it's kind of like it's not an absolute thing with finding the solutions to this. We think that there's or they, they pitch to us some things, and we tend to look at it as that one thing is going to make everything all right. But no, they need multiple things to work in conjunction with each other in order to get the gameplay experience we need. So I'm okay with it instancing because end of the day, you want to be challenged, you want to have fun.
Right, and then you want that seamless experience to be consistent, right? Especially when you're interacting with AI. A lot of the story within SC, it's going to be curated for, a solo player, and then there's going to be certain instances where you're going to need a group.
Yes.
So, they got to have that instancing capability there. But if you're looking for PvP, then go to contested zones. Go to there are certain designated activities. Now, granted, a lot of PvP players say, "Oh, I don't want a specific zone. I just want to do it wherever you can."
Yeah.
But for those curated experiences that are designed to be in an instance, they will be. There's no compromising with that. Because the player needs to be able to experience the story that CIG is offering.
Yes.
And if you can't do that, why waste your time trying to play it?
Yeah, it's broken. You may as well be broken.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think Todd was saying he hasn't seen a lot of issues with the shards at 650 pop. He's saying the problem is there's a lot of junk that's out there. I think Ian Leyland said some things about that, about how we see debris out there, like derelict ships. They want to address those things too, like create mission givers so that you're alerted to, hey, let me grab the reclaimer, or let me grab the vulture, let me grab another medium-sized salvage ship to kind of go out there and address that problem and take that stuff off the surface. I think they even broke it down to water bottles that you drink, that they will be defined. So once they're empty, there won't be any time for them to be on the surface. They get wiped off. So I think now they kind of understand the robustness, or how their servers can hold up, and they trust that now. So now I think it's more of a thing of scaling back the stuff that needs to be scaled back, that's automatically done. So yeah, in order to keep things working right, and I think you need to do that, especially once you get to dynamic server meshing, that you want to ensure that now that you can scale up these player counts, you're going to have more often than not bottles on the ground, trash everywhere, derelict ships. Oh my God, you're going to have so many derelict ships. I don't think we'll be able to keep up, salvaging them, because you're going to have higher player counts. But I do think that the sweet spot for them for 1.0, as far as player counts, is going to be 1,000 as the the footnote of, hey, we're there. That's going to be Chris's baby to say we got 1,000 per server. We are officially an MMO.
Right, and I do remember Benoit saying that it's really expensive for them to do an automated cleanup on the server.
Oh wow. Wow.
And that's why they were, as you were saying, to create a mission for you to go salvage or
Yes.
clean up some trash. But the problem with that is you're gonna have to really incentivize salvaging someone's abandoned ship.
Yep.
So that mission is gonna have to pay out at minimum 150K. But then
Yes.
again, you're gonna have this issue of people rigging the system and just claiming their ship. But at the same time, I would assume when they implement that, insurance would be implemented, so it would sort of mitigate the fraudulent nature that
Ooh.
players try to do.
Duping. What is that? Some of the
Yeah.
words duping.
Exactly, duping.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
when it comes to trash, there are, I'm a player that puts it in the trash bin.
Me too. I try my best.
The
Yeah.
problem is those trash bins don't
Work. They don't work.
right. Well, I mean they accumulate trash, but they don't disintegrate it. So
Mm-hmm.
it should be, once the flaps close, it should just,
Yeah. You see a pop
disappear,
of light.
despawn.
You see a little pulsating light. It disintegrates, atomizes, right? And maybe as a get back for you would be like maybe it's some material that accumulates in your inventory that you can probably apply it to crafting. Maybe a crafting glue, right? So you see it, the incentive is, hey, okay, I'm not going to be nickel and dime as a payout because people overlook it and not care. But if it's like incentivized, like you use that material for a glue or substance to be incorporated into base building, oh, by all means, and then it automatically accumulates into a SCU box for maybe base building. So you all of a sudden everybody looking for damn bottles, just looking for bottles to
Right,
clean up.
right.
Hey man, I can build on this. Literally, I can build on
Exactly.
this. You incentivize it, and then all of a sudden they're cleaning this stuff up like it's no tomorrow.
Yeah, so those tools need to be given to the player so we can help mitigate some of these issues when it comes to a large amount of entities remaining on the server. Because, a couple of Citizen Cons ago when they first showed us server meshing,
Yes.
I forgot his name, but I think
Not Benoit, but it was
he hit
blonde
I
hair.
can't remember, but yeah, blonde hair.
Uh,
But
I could just pull up his name like it was nothing.
nevertheless, he did say when servers, when they do a wipe and they launch the servers back up, there's a couple 100,000 entities, which is the essential starting phase for all of the locations and so on and so forth. After a few hours, it gets into the millions, and that's
Oh my
just from
God.
players being destroyed or throwing stuff to the side or whatever. So as Tao said, there needs to be, if they've got to figure out a middle ground. If it's expensive to do an automated version, I still think that, I don't know, Benoit knows more than I do. I just think that there's maybe for smaller items it can be cleaned up automatically.
Yes.
But I feel like that Chris is probably pushing back and say, hey, no, I want, persistent needs to be
Paul
persistent.
Rondell. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right, Paul.
Paul Rondell.
And I feel like Chris really wants like ships and bigger items to persist. But my main issue with that is if you can't track your ship, which I think now you can, but you have to be within a certain vicinity of it to show up as a marker. And then if you can't track, like let's say if you lose a piece of armor, you can't
Yes.
track that. So
And should you?
a lot of you should be able to.
Okay.
It's armor.
Yeah. It's yours.
It's an advance, a piece of equipment.
Yes.
Just like you would, let's say, you're traveling, you can put an AirPod in your luggage bag.
Yes.
So if you can track a luggage, you should be able to track
Yeah.
your armor.
Yeah.
So you can recover it, right?
Yes.
Outside of having a death marker, but once let's say you die again, you lose that old location.
Yep.
Now you could go, if you know where you were, you can always go back and get that stuff. But
Oh wow.
there needs to be a way to track all of these items in an efficient manner as far as
Yeah.
on the back end side.
Yeah.
And then so that would facilitate easier clean or more cleanup by the player rather than the server.
Being able to be proactive to clean it up. You remember that thing they called it was like, it's not called assets. Before knickknacks. You know,
Right,
that
right.
that category we have. So why not have a category that says lost items and it tells you where it is, or to say is a button to ping it, which then makes a marker for you to go get it. Knickknacks.
Exactly.
Now, if it's scrubbed or picked up by another player, then it's off the servers or whatever, and maybe they can upkeep it because now we have crafting. So it also there's the other side of it too, Arbiter, of an incentive to go pick it up, because then you can keep it, craft it, or maybe atomize it down to material that you can use to incorporate with repairing your existing armor, right? Break it down to that element of what's already needed in order to repair or build existing or armor that you have from a blueprint. So it's a two-sided coin. The incentive is you have a certain time, maybe a 24-hour cycle, 48-hour cycle, to pinpoint and pick it up yourself. Beyond that, then it's able to be pinged or found by other players, possibly.
Right. Well, see, the replication layer is supposed to. So, let's say you lose an item on server A,
Yes.
and then you go make dinner,
Yes.
and now server A is full.
Yes.
But what the replication layer is supposed to do is copy that data from server A over to when you log back into server B.
Yes.
And then the I guess the trick is, or the issue may be, is if a player on server A picks up your item, now you need to be merged with his instance so
Correct.
that you can, potentially recover that from them, or, so you can fight over it essentially.
Yes.
But like you said, at some point, it has to, I guess, you would use a fencing mechanism. So if you get that armor, you go to the fence and say, okay, I want to disable the tracking on this armor, so I'm going to pay this fee to remove the tracking. And then that's where player on server B can no longer, or is no longer needed to merge that player with server A with the old data set
Yeah.
that the a player from server B was once on from server A.
Thus removing those replications of it across servers. It cleans it up.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Totally. Wow. Yeah, it's ways. He's selling meat, snake meat, on the UEX website. 07 Vickers. Have you fought the Yormandi yet, Arbiter?
Yes, yeah, we did that.
Oh, okay,
2 days
man. What
ago
am I
on
doing,
Friday.
man? I'm out of it, man. What do you think? You think that's good gameplay? Should that be something we should have encounters for in caves or wetlands and places that have water bodies to some extent?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to have it.
Yeah.
It's a water-bound creature.
Yes.
So
Yep. Yeah.
places, well, obviously, Microtech is frozen, but there are certain temperate areas that have rivers, but
Yes.
there's no like big, large body of water like
Yeah.
you would find on Hurston. So
Correct.
they could probably potentially put a variant of that on Hurston out at the large body of water,
Yeah.
or near a cave or something like that. But it seems like they want to curate that experience inside a cave because it's
Yes.
easier to reset the encounter. Now, granted, be it as it may, they could also have the way they could reset that encounter is to have a spawn point for that creature. If you want it to be in a large body of water, it would spawn at a particular location and it would just have this route of swimming within that large body of water, and then you find it, you fight it, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, it has a spline that
So
it follows or tracks, like a figure eight.
right,
Yeah, yeah, I agree
basically
with that.
a schedule that
Yes.
every NPC is gonna have. They're gonna have, they go to lunch, they do their work, and then they go back home, sleep, rinse and repeat.
Yep, yep, and it's a thing. It's on a cycle. Now, if the servers, it's scheduled with, let's say it's scheduled along with dynamic server meshing. At the later stages, when it's time for new servers to spin up, it stays off that older server. It only spawns when the server are like just spinning up or just spun up, and then halfway through, then they cycle down. So it helps with decay issues on the server, so it doesn't act wonky. So yeah, I think
Right.
they can schedule that stuff appropriately, like you said, and then even better, you put them into caves that have like lakes and stuff like that. But I think it should be a staple in the whole foundational part of what the game is about. You're exploring. There's creatures, and maybe even like not just scheduling, but have them do what do you call a tour? Have them tour a location on a planet where they rotate, so that way it's not
Right.
heavy on the servers. They'll once they rotate randomly, they're in a schedule cycle. Then they despawn. They do their schedule routing and come back to another random place or repeat that place. Right? It's random. So that way
Right.
you're always chasing after it, because now, depending on supply and demand, it's going to be a lot of people after it. If the demand for the eye or the tongue is up to 1.2 mil or 2 mil in any given time, oh, they hunting.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if it's associated with crafting, some sort of item.
Yes.
I have some Boras on me.
Oh,
You can
Boras?
jump to me.
Okay. So, yeah. Ty says the Yamandi is cool, but I want a creature I have to fight that moves around and isn't stuck to the ground in one position. How about ones that fly or glide and then they fight on the ground? Like some sort of like feral predator, apex bat-like creature that has wings. I think what is that ship? That green ship was modeled after that. What was it called? Oh my
Green ship.
god! Yeah, it's the alien ship. It's green.
Banu?
Santak Ya. Santak Ya.
Defender? Oh, Santak. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's modeled after a creature, an apex creature, and it can.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it can fly to an extent like a bat, but then it's on the ground. So yeah, it can attack from above and below. It maybe could spit toxins from the air, right, and then come down, and then they swing with claws. They can claw you. So it's so many different things of what you can do with these creatures.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah, if you hit F2
okay, right there.
and
When
go to the right and hit toggle marker list. It's the second icon on the right.
you said marker list right here. Oh, nice. Look at that.
And then you select my name, and then you
Holy
select,
smokes.
set a route. Easy peasy.
Nice and cheesy.
Mhm.
There it is. And again, the community is the instruction manual for the game. They know it too. Oh, he's tired of fighting things at a fixed point. Well, that just tells you that you're looking for the. You can't wait for the Boreal Stalker, which is the Yeti, as well as the Whippet crabs that move around.
Yeah. Again, a lot of that is dependent on NPC being able to navigate the terrain. And given
Yeah.
that we're getting Genesis I
Oh.
suspect that we're probably going to get a rework of that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that. Well, I could be wrong. It may not need a rework. It might just need some tweaking. So hopefully that's the case, and we can have those encounters more in a random fashion rather than at a fixed location.
Yes. I think with dynamic server meshing, I think it opens the capability for them to scale, and I think the engine itself will be more readily, it can handle things to scale, and that's what I'm hoping that it's going to do. We're going to find out pretty soon. I think it after 2026, man, it can be any time for that dynamic server meshing. But if it takes all of 2026, I'm like, holy smokes, why did it take so long? Woo, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I would much rather them
Get it right.
get that sooner than later,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you want to have that core technology online,
Yeah.
and then not have to worry about features not being compatible with it, and then you have
Yeah.
to rewrite the feature, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So-
Yep.
That's just my main concern.
Yeah, I think they've shown us enough of what they want to do, what the potential is. I'd say why not just go after the all things foundational? Use that trademark approach that Elite Dangerous have gone with. Put the planets in, and you can build the content in with it, but get the structural things out of the way. We've seen enough of the potential, and we believe you can do it. And some of it is fun, right? If not most, all of it. So why not go ahead and
Yeah.
get your foundation in?
Yeah. I mean, because the sooner the better, so we could focus on ironing out features that are having issues.
Yeah.
Iron out those bugs that have long persisted over the
Decades.
decade.
Okay, I'm
You
gonna jump
know
in there with that
what
one. Decades.
No shade.
No-
CIG,
no
we
shame,
just
man.
teasing.
Oh, I'm
You know
gonna
what
tell
I'm
it.
saying?
I gotta tell it. It's been decades, Chris. Come on, man. Yeah, it is.
So, and then that'll bring. I feel like that'll bring a lot of people back on board. You reinstitute some confidence
Yeah.
in being able to play the game at the pace that you want to, and not have to worry about figuring out what the workaround is. You
Yes.
just do what it is that you want to do.
I agree. And I think it's a thing of we got to keep you excited and keep you engaged. When the thing is chasing us away is the features that don't, persist or play well because we don't have the foundational pieces in, and I think we've shown them that, hey, we're in for the long haul. We're going to stay with it. It's just the fact that, this is supposed to be the year of stability, right? So, we're faced with enjoying the gameplay, and then at some point the new feature goes in, then the stability falls apart, then we get frustrated and then don't play, and then you're stuck between, what do I give them, more features? Oh, wait a minute, I can't give them features. Oh, okay, I got to hurry up with the structural stuff. It's like you're being jerked back and forth between what's going to keep the community engaged and playing the game, as opposed to biting the bullet and saying, okay, we got to just make this right in regards to, we got a stable system here. Now let's build on the features and the missions and things that make it fun, because now we can we can rest knowing that we're working on one thing and one thing only, because the other things are have been taken care of. But it's like a knee-jerk reaction of go this way, no, go that way, go this way, and no one's happy. Not even the devs are happy about it, because they, last thing they want someone is saying, hey, this isn't working. But it could be the structural part of it is causing the problem. So yeah, just pick one thing, pick your battles, CIG. Just take one thing, knock it out, and then go in about, with creating the content that's going to hold up on the foundation.
Without a doubt. That,
Because now it's almost unplayable. They even stated it's the server is degraded, play at your own risk. And people's probably reason why we're able to be in it and play it is because nobody probably is around. Hardly anybody is around, so it's playable.
Well, that's the nice thing about server meshing is that now the moons and planets and space itself are their own locations.
Yes.
So if there's an issue at Microtech, you won't be affected
Yeah.
at ArcCorp.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's a nice feature. But again, obviously there can be an instance where issues come about where essentially that bug finds its way over to this server.
Does that.
And we get a server error or some sort. So nothing is impenetrable per se or perfect.
Yeah.
But the experience is, somewhat stable for the most part for certain features.
It's gotten better. Yeah. What do you think about, what was your take on Siege of Orson, Arbiter, when you first encountered it? What was your thoughts on it? Initial thoughts at the beginning of it.
I enjoyed Siege of Orson. The problem was you get these speed runners, right?
Yeah.
And them kids, they be like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
the hell with doing the encounter.
Yeah.
I just want to kill the boss and get the loot,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, I'm trying to get the whole experience.
Right.
This is my first time.
Yep.
So what are
Yep.
you doing? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
So and that was the main issue that I ran into, and a lot of other players had the same problem. And typically that was, somebody who was in Evocati or First Wave, and they knew the encounter already.
Yeah.
Right.
The spoilers.
So
it was spoilers.
and I get it. You want to be first or whatever, but that's where we need to have
Citizen.
instancing.
Thank you for the raid, Soul Citizen.
Oh.
What's going on? Y'all are early, man. What's been up? What have y'all been doing? What have y'all been talking about? Captain Serious Fun, aka Big Black Gamer. What's going on, man? Griff,
Yes, sir.
what's going on? Hey, you guys ready for that engineering test tomorrow? Yep, it's going down. Whoa, Struggle Citizen. That's what we're talking about, Struggle, the struggles. And Star Citizen. CJ07. That's Griff saying greetings. 07, sir. Captain Jones. Struggle Citizen. Yeah, we're talking about the struggles. Arbiter mentioned, there's instances where he'll play an event which he likes, and sometimes the people who knew or been there and done it, they'll come in and strip it out, and it's practically unplayable. But there was an instance where, we played and I witnessed what he encountered, where they would have a free flight and everything would be, oh my God, everything would run as a Polaroid. And it was just unplayable. That free fly used to be one thing you would want to avoid if you were, playing in the game and there was a mission or an event and they had the free fly. You better be aware. Don't try to play the game. And Arbiter, more than I do, what that experience did. It made us stay away for a few days until it was over.
Yeah. I mean, back in those early days of Free Fly, I just said, okay, well, looks like I'm not playing Star Citizen for the next
Yeah.
7 days.
Yep.
Typically that's how long they would last. Now it's still noticeable, but that's usually when you're in the spawning location of a lot of those new players, which typically tends to be ArcCorp for some reason. Now it used to be Crusader,
Yeah.
but everybody. I feel like you've got a lot of Star Wars fans, and they see, oh, we got a Planet City. Oh,
Yeah.
let me
Yeah,
spawn
Coruscant.
at Coruscant.
Coruscant,
You
yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Supposedly
But
they're
yeah,
they're supposed to move from that a little bit. They're supposed to add some what do you call flora there, some vegetation.
oh yeah, it's supposed to be a river that goes through there. Apparently, I don't know the validity of that,
Yeah,
but
I've heard that.
and then also obviously we're going to be getting the slums.
Yes,
So where
the
you
lower
go down
depths.
into the lower depths.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think
that's
Cyberpunk.
definitely gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice because you're talking about instances and occasions where you go there. There's mission givers, but I think Cyberpunk kind of inspired them of that kind of gameplay within gameplay. So it's like, wait a minute, we can repurpose what we have and make that part of a game experience that it tells, a deeper, literally, no pun intended, a deeper story within ArcCorp. And I think,
Right.
unfortunately, what they wanted to do with it, they were able to do that with Levski because what they have, the narrative with ArcCorp and Lorville was, you remember one of the devs from Montreal, he did the revamp of Lorville, and then his intentions was to go in and put in the interiors. So I think knowing that they have that ahead of them, they were like, well, it makes more sense for us to put the lower depths over into Levski, and when the time is right, once we get interiors built out, we'll come back to ArcCorp and make it its own experience. So I think it speaks to it fits both locations, but you have to come with, don't do lazy stuff where you copy and paste the same experience. And it's, I think Todd was even saying, with some of the experiences with the NPCs, it's just the same type of mechanic, but it's a different skin of that NPC. So with that said, it would be great to see, more of, maybe there's a subculture that lives in Area 18, similar to what we saw with Firefly, the movie. Remember, have you seen that movie, Arbiter?
I've seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, it was like this mutant-like culture. I guess they called them Ravagers or something. But yeah, they were just,
Right.
man, they were rough. And I would love to see that in Area 18, a subculture that lives underneath the city that's just kind of savage-like, but they have their objectives as well, and intentions. And so you have to get through them to get to that objective. Whereas with Pyro, well, not Pyro, but with Levski, it's more of chemical involvement. It could be creature in nature, as far as what you have to do. Engineering, like they stated, would be incorporate with them. So yeah, you're going to the lower depths, but it should feel, and you should get a different experience each and every time. But I kind of like that idea of adding things within your point of interest where you go to land or live, and to say that it's not paradise, but each area has its own problems. So yeah, I look forward to that and to see what they can do with that. But definitely, it's time for them to really delve in and step it up with the NPCs and make them more formidable, have more variation to them, so they stand out, and you give them a level of respect. So when you approach them each time, you know, not only do they have distinct characteristics, but their complexity, their skill levels should scale as well. You know, if we hit a party of a number of people, then it should scale according to that number. But we need to be challenged more with these NPCs, big time.
Yeah, they could have different archetypes as amongst the different factions. So you could have like a brawler
Yes.
themed faction where they're very aggressive. They don't hide for cover. They push
Yeah.
you really hard.
Yep. Pushers. Yep.
And then you could have like a suicide bomber.
Yes.
Which
Yep.
would be,
Yep.
you know, something else to deal with. But
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
A heavy.
or,
You got that heavy with the
yeah,
main
but-
gun.
Or then also you could have somebody in what they call it, an ATLS. You know.
Yes. We were talking about
But,
that. Yeah. Yep. ATLS coming at you. And you gotta your guns, ballistics won't take it down. Somebody gotta have grenades. Or you're gonna run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then not only that, you have people strung out on Widow or Maze, and they're slashing you with a knife, and you're literally bleeding out. You hear that sound, can't, and you're like, hey, I'm bleeding out here. He hit vitals. He went in between my neck with the knife. You know, that kind of
Right.
stuff. He gets close enough, or jumps you from behind, or he sneaks up on you using stealth, stuff like that.
Stealth,
You're
yeah.
walking into a trap. You're like, okay, this is different. Everybody keep your head on the swivel.
That would be amazing.
Taking you out silently. Guys, I'm down. And you turn around, you don't see anything, right?
This sneaky bastard got me.
Yes. Yep. Or you got some that's, you know, they're taking these this contraband. They get hit so many times, and why are they still coming after me? Because they were taking these contrabands. Black Widow, they're taking the Widow,
Right.
they're taking the Maze, because they know they don't care. They're gonna go all out. Be advised,
them,
we got Widow
A
heads.
bit of a buff.
Yes, yep. Give them a buff. Yep. Those variations. It's time for the NPCs to actually really, you know, push back in ways that, you know, you're going to respect it. You're not going to go, like you said, those youngsters go in and run and gun. Arbiter, I just hope that when we see again the Siege of Orison, that you get a more complex and varied approach in how these NPCs will attack you. Like I would want to see some carry the Animus grenade launcher and just lay waste. Just start dogging people. Especially if your
without a doubt.
reputation. Yeah. And not make it based on the reputation. If you do it so many times, once we get the reputation in the game, then that should be your level of expectations, that they're coming at you because you're good at what you do. So it's almost like a suicide mission. So
Scales up with your
yes.
reputation.
Yep. I think people are ready to not have to worry about. I want to hold your hand. I want to take you down. And when they start to run into those kind of challenges, they want to play it more and more. Now, granted, if they lose, then it'll scale back a little bit to say, okay, you didn't make it. Well, we're going to scale back because your reputation took a hit. But yeah, I mean, just foundational things that makes. I think that it's about going back to the drawing board and just taking a deep breath. In other words, this holiday that's coming up, this will be a great time for them to just relax, get away from the game, stay away from the game, please. Don't even look at it. Stay home with your family, relax, and then come back next year with a breath of fresh air And I think collectively, just all come together and talk about what makes a good video game. What are the ones that are so successful? What made those games so successful? What are the formulas? What are the elements they used in their heyday that made them so great? And you sit there and say, well, yeah, let me share my great game. This was what was fun for me. And everybody interjects. And then you say, what can we do on the side of Star Citizen? What can we do to come together and kind of express this in how we develop and bring those elements of gameplay that are successful, but at the same time, they reflect what Star Citizen is, but they have some characteristics of what what they played that highlight strong aspects of what will make Star Citizen even better. I think they have an opportunity here to kind of look at the whole thing and just take it all in and say, you know what? And this definitely includes Chris. It's especially Chris. But have feedback. I think it also requires Chris to be open to feedback from what the devs see, right? I get it. It's your baby, and it always will be, and we appreciate, the vision and, the work put in. We do appreciate that. But I think the most important thing here is that we have one narrative, one collective vision, and that's to make this one of the best, and Chris dubbed it the best damn space universe, simulated universe in the game, or the best damn space sim ever. So that's all what it's about. And so I think, it's not a question of it's your. We know it's yours, Chris, but I would say have those conversations open and come back to what makes a great. Obviously, they're looking at all avenues and bringing it all in and trying to make Star Citizen the game for everybody. So why not embrace it and reflect that in what the devs also think is a great game and what worked from the history as well. But we got to get the foundation in first. Yep.
You got to have that cohesion to the game. You got to tie a lot of the mechanics together, so it feels, so you can feel that flow. You go from salvage to mining to mercenary to bounty hunting to exploration to science to medical gameplay. Wow. You're dipping and diving in all of these different aspects of the game. But that cohesion needs to be there for you to do that.
Yes.
Richard Tyra did state that is the plan, and although that is really focused on for 1.0, granted, I still stand by my word that we won't probably see that until the next by 2030. Now, if we could get it by 2027 or 2028, but I still think we're about 5 years out for a full launch of 1.0.
Because
so and then go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You're right though. I mean, it's just the wording. When you say 2030, it sounds funny, and it sounds odd, right? It's just it sounds that way. You say 2030, and you look at it. This is literally the end of October right here, and then there's November, December. It's 2025.
Yep. About to be 2026.
Yeah. And you look at the things that are missing.
Because, we're just getting engineering, and that's not the full implementation of it, which, again, I could be wrong. They might just do it in little subsections as far as the tech preview. But hopefully, when it does go to a larger group of citizens, we eventually get the whole thing and not have to worry about relearning mechanics again and whatnot. Be it
Yeah.
as it may, I will love the day that I can tell my engineer or do it myself and have all the doors open on my
Yeah. Yep.
capital ship, so
Yeah.
I don't have to sit there and wait for them to open while navigating through them. So
Yeah. A starship.
you
Operating a
exactly.
starship. Yep. Truly. That alone, when you say we don't have the cartography station, we don't have drones. Um,
Yeah, we don't have drones.
yep. We're just getting into medical, right? It's in its infancy. Um, you don't have. We're waiting for the next iteration of scanning, but then you're talking about when you're talking about the engineering, you have to tie in all those functions behind a UI, and then it served back to the captain who can or should be able to monitor all these systems as well and communicate what's going on, right? As a collective, like you see the power drain, you see where the systems are functioning, whether they're at the optimal or not. You're looking at the
Right.
battle situation on screen. You're monitoring the battle situation. And like in the cartography center, maybe you're operating from there. You're, or let's say you're in a fleet, right? So, or squadron. You're also setting up waypoints for those fleet members to position themselves against the adversary. So all those things are moving around, or maybe you assign it to your number one. you know, you
Right.
assign the cartography center to number one, right? And because you're looking at the ship and the health of the ship, and you want to keep the ship out of danger, right? No pun intended. And so these systems have to be in place for you to do your job and for everyone else to do their job. That alone is a monumental task. Even in its simplest form, because they have to be orchestrated, they have to be connected, they have to communicate 2-3 ways so that everyone can define and understand what's going on at the blink of an eye at that moment, and then make determinations strategically speaking. Hey, alter all power to shields because you're taking a hit, and then you say all power, once you have the shields, then you move all power to engines or the quantum drive, and the shields are fading and you're taking shots. You got to get out of there. It gives you just enough time to spin up the quantum drive to jump out of there. Those are the decisions you have to make. Or the engineer says, I can't do it, Captain. She doesn't have enough power. Then you tell your engineer, then drain the power, or bypass power to life control systems, right? Life support systems. Everyone has a helmet on. Drain the power from that. Place it onto the power towards the quantum drive. Those kind of things, or shut down the gravity generator, right? If your engineer is at the station, you cut off the gravity generator, which will bring more power to your quantum drives. Stuff like that has to be connected in order for you to make those kind of decisions as a captain and as a crew. So again, it's going to take some time, but I think you have to push forward and be a little aggressive and say, okay, collectively, it looks like this. I need to make some adjustments. Now we have a balance, as opposed to I'm going to baby feed you with this a little bit. Now see how that is. Now baby feed you with this a little bit. But all the while, all these things are moving forward to your estimated time of 2030. Time is ticking, and you want to finish the game. You want the people to finish it for you. It's like, you may, I don't know, man. It's a lot going on, and I think you set the foundation first, it's going to help you focus on those other aspects. But if you got so many irons in the fire all at once, your attention is diverted so much that how can you as a whole look at things and make those determinations accordingly so that everything is in sync? It's hard to have everything in sync because they've shown us that because they double back on something or double back on something. Gold standard is a prime example. Okay, every ship is going to be prime gold standard. So it's like, oh, it's a finished product. No, wink, wink. It is the state of where it should be to the current development for that feature that's a part of the ship, as opposed to, no, it's got the UI, it's got the power plant, it's got the pipelines for the power to distribute to the components. The components can be damaged. The components can be repaired. The components can be replaced out for new ones, things of that nature. So that's on a single ship by itself. So it scales up from medium to capital size ship. And what does that look like? You know, so it's a lot of moving parts. But yeah, that 2030, man, it's falling into that a space of like, hey, it could very well be that. And you're talking about damages, maelstrom system. You have encounters where let's say you do have engineering in. What is the cause and effect? Another ship that has engineering. Now you have to have all those things physicalized. Now I want to be able to target your ship, target your shields first, target your power plant to disable you. And you have to counter by hardening your shields and taking out turrets. And those things have to play out to where, oh wow, we're both struggling here. We're both damaged here. But one person has the upper edge because they made the right decision. It's a chess game within the game. So those features have to be not just functional, but they have to interact with other, like that other entity, and those things have to play out. So it feels like, hey, this was a starship battle. It felt that way. But if it's like piecemealing it, it's disjointed within just the ship by itself, 07, then it's not going to be cohesive. So you got to get it into the hands of people so they can play it and say, hey, this doesn't work, or this is working good enough, but tweak this. So it's more of about the interactions and getting people on board with it sooner than later, because you want a great experience when it comes to that.
Yeah, and you know, I tied that 5 years span to the progression that we've came from as far as going into 4.0.
Yes.
Now that we've got Nyx coming online, and granted, Nyx is the full implementation of it is not going to be there when it comes on.
Nope.
So that will be, I suspect, over the year of 2026. So I think the plan was that they would have Stanton, Pyro, Nyx, Castra, and then there was another one. There was they're going to start with 5. So
yeah, it's
forgot that
Stanton,
fifth one.
Pyro, Castra, Terra, and
Terra, okay,
Yep.
and Nyx.
And Nyx. And then Magnus is
so-
out there. If you look at the star map,
Right.
which is Drake, home
So-
of Drake.
Exactly. And if what we really as a community need to take a look at is how long will it take them to flesh out Nyx, given that it's a quite small system. There's not many POIs on it.
Yes.
And if they're able to get that done within, I certainly hope within the first quarter, but we know that CIG is notorious for its planning phase in the first quarter, so which is understandable.
Yeah.
You got to set a schedule, and get everybody on board with that plan and then execute it.
Yes.
And
Yep.
typically it takes a couple weeks for people to get in sync.
Yes.
So hopefully,
Yep.
when that's done in January and February, we start pushing for that second quarter of fully fleshing out Knicks, and then hopefully there are talks of, okay, let's bring on Castra
Yes.
and
I
start
agree.
pushing that out for, hopefully I could see them like holding it for CitizenCon unless there's um the the plan to set a release date for Squadron 42.
Yes.
So it all depends on whether, Squadron is going to release next year or if it's not, which I certainly, fingers crossed,
Yeah.
we get it like for December of next year, or we might get it in the middle of next year. We'll see. But they're going to be competing with GTA 6.
They don't want that. They don't want. They don't. I just do not want that.
saying?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you're gonna want to get that out as soon as possible. But be it as it may, people are, GTA 6 is its own thing and its own, community and whatnot. CIG doesn't necessarily have to put too much emphasis on trying to drag attention to Star Citizen, because Star Citizen in itself already has an appeal when you especially the marketing team is quite well at making those videos
Yes.
and showing the very in-depth nature of Star Citizen, going down on the planet, getting out off
Yeah.
of your ship and walking around on an entire planet seamlessly. So
Yeah.
you won't have that in GTA 6. But I could be wrong. They might have some, something, multiple cities or whatnot, but we'll see. So it just depends on the cadence of the release level for Knicks, and if that's done quickly, then that
Yeah.
release time for 1.0 could be shortened down to 2028. But I still think that 2030 is probably going to be where they come out and say, hey, here's the launch, no more wipes,
Yes.
let's have at it.
Yes. Yep. I think because they're feeling their way through things, or the software doesn't do what it's not on schedule to what they want, given the efforts that's put into it, or the expectations, and the software will go south on them. Like you said, there's no silver bullet. There's no actual one thing that makes it all correct or work right. So here we are, still awaiting for dynamic server meshing. The expectation is, once we get dynamic server meshing, it's going to be great, right? It's going to work to the T. We don't know that. And they feel confident that it's going to work right, but we don't know. I'll be honest. We don't know. It could be something else that's needed, right? It could go the way of our cache.
I mean, the history of releasing features into the PU is not well.
Yeah.
It
hasn't gone to plan.
And that's no shade.
Yeah.
It's just the way the dice rolled. The experience that we've had with Pez, the initial experience with the first iteration of server meshing. So it's bound to be a bit of a hiccup with dynamic server meshing.
Yeah. More
To
than
what
likely.
degree? I don't know. I certainly hope on a scale of 1 to 10, I hope it's just a 3 or 4. It doesn't turn into like a 317 situation where things are just entirely unplayable. So time will tell.
Yeah. The fact that they mentioned that, there's other iterations of server meshing, right? Of course. But their version is different from others. So that's to say a bragging point is that it's unique. But the expectation of it, because it's brand new, Will it work as is planned? We don't know. But like you said, we've seen over time where something didn't work, and we would sit here wondering what's going on until they find that solution. You won't hear, hey, we got a problem here, and it's this.
Right.
And some of us can handle it. Quite a few of us, you hear them, you hear their disdain, you hear their, feedback when things don't work, and it's quite loud. So yeah, very loud. So they refrain to just like keep the heads down, and leadership says, hey, as long as you're working on it, I got your back. Don't worry about it. Just focus on taking care of the issue. And we're wondering what's going on because the expectations are not where it was said to be. But to give them credit, they've found ways to progress and get through it. And you look back on all the patches that we've had. Some you can look at and say, if I could do that all over again, like 3.18. Some patches that came across were like, I remember that patch, unfortunately. But you've seen, you go through the whole list, and quite a few of them, a lot of them, said that they made progress because we're moving towards 4.4, and that's the next patch, which will have more features that's going to bring us in. Look at things, and some of the best things they ever do are making these planets. And we gotta, it's got its bumps and bruises and warts and all, like Pyro. But man, one of the most amazing things that they've actually were able to create was that jump point, man. I mean, when they got that thing dialed in, and you really had consistency with it, I've never seen anything like that this side of a video game. Period. You see that kind of like in a movie or something, right? A movie experience.
Right.
But it was blurring the line between the two.
There's no other game that provides that kind of experience.
No.
Now, I know there are some who will say, "Oh, it's just a glorified loading screen." Well, at least it's interactable, okay? You have to navigate through it.
Yes.
And
you screw it up, you're still there where you did not make the jump. You keep hitting those freaking columns if you want. See what happened. You'll see how much interaction there is of a loading screen. It'll load your ass right back where you started.
Exactly.
Like, wait a minute. Why? You saw that. Right. I hit the column so many damn times, man, and it kept me where I was. I'm like,
exactly.
Not a loading screen.
CIG has been very lenient on that. You can hit it quite a few times before boot pushes you out.
Yeah.
You kind of really have to force yourself on the edges of the tunnel to be dropped out. But I suspect that might change in the future where they really want you to pay attention.
Yeah.
And take navigating that wormhole seriously.
For sure. And their next version of it, which is called the dynamic or the Pathfinder version, where if you're trying to avoid the UEC, whether that you're trying to avoid pirates, it kind of like you have to find it. Once you do, and you go to that said system, it's not going to be a predetermined exit where you've planned to come out of. It's going to be a random area within that system that you've targeted. But the thing is, to navigate it is going to be a lot more dangerous because of its nature, because of how it was kind of like, it's not a refined or much traveled point from A to B. It's a dynamic version. And I think the two ships that are, which I think this third one I suspect may be a part of it too. I think the Perseus is going to be one, but the Hermes could possibly be one too, because right now there's currently only two Pathfinder versions of ships, and that's the Carrack, and that is the other one is the Terrapin, that they can navigate in a great way natively these dynamic or these drummed up jump points. So
Right.
yeah, transient. Yep, transient. So to navigate them,
Yeah, that was uniquely focused for the Carrick. You
yes,
would send out your
yes,
Pisces to navigate the wormhole and see how stable it was. And I suspect that when you do that, if it needs to be stabilized, maybe the Pisces will have some sort of
Yep.
either equipment or I guess you could say like material that can be dispersed within the wormhole to stabilize it, and then
Yep.
you would send a larger vessel through it.
yes.
So we'll see. I certainly hope that comes online sooner than later, because people are going to run into choke points when
Correct, and they're
know,
gonna
you're
look for it,
when you-
right? Yeah,
right, when you're trying to haul cargo, or you're doing a
Yes.
particular mission that takes you from system to system.
yeah,
And the easier, not to say that it shouldn't be somewhat streamlined for pirates, but the easier it is for them to give you a headache, the less likely people will want to navigate to a different system.
yep.
So
Yeah, and I think it speaks to now you have a number of opposition because it was players, pirates, and now it's going to be the Vandal. So, yeah, you're saying,
Right.
okay, I'm being chased and I have to run to this particular point, and you're being chased. How about you actually drum up or conjure up the transient point and make that jump, and then just do it. But then, the con of it, the pro of it is, hey, you can get to go into one immediately, depending you're on the other side of the galaxy or the solar system, and that jump point is on this opposite side. You create a transient one, find it, and the downside is the navigation is going to be hell to go through, and you're going to have a significant amount of damage, but you have your goods for the most part.
exactly.
Yeah. And I would agree, Finra, it should be like all of your exploration type ships. They should retcon that and say if it's an exploration ship, that's part of the functionality is it creates transient jump points so that it can go further than other ships, because you don't have to go from one side of the system to the other, get to that static based jump point.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to me that why call it an exploration ship? You're exploring wormholes, so
Yeah,
it fits
yeah.
right in line with the
Yeah.
utility of the ship.
Yeah, you're interacting with space. You're going to locations. You're gathering data. So you have to be able to move the ship. You have distances to cover. And if you can't move distances and go to further distances than other ships, then it's just a ship. It's not an exploration ship.
Relationship, yeah, exactly.
But I gotta start the week. Arbiter chat.
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be an early one, man. But I'll be in Discord. I'll be in general chat. I'll be disseminating information I gather about the test. I will. So
yeah, definitely.
be looking
Yes,
forward.
sir.
Yeah.
I look forward to that
Yes,
conversation.
sir. Yes, always a great conversation, Arbiter. Chat.
Likewise, brother.
Yeah, man, we got to get it. And that Perseus, man, assign me somewhere, man.
Oh,
I know I'm not quartermaster.
You turret titan, brother. That's your role.
Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Let's go.
Yes.
Yes, let's go. Yeah,
Yes,
we gotta, man, we gotta try that thing out, man, and get to Nyx and just hang out and see what we can do with the Vandal.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I think you're gonna have a blast with that Perseus. I mean the
It's gonna be amazing.
yeah, the Perseus. Yeah, it's
Yep,
the one of
Perseus,
the
yep.
better designed internal ships out there. When they gave that splash page of it, it was one of the best. I said to myself, I know where each station is. I know how to get there. So all that does is translate to fast reactionary processes, action, all the way, instant. Everything is communicated. The reaction time of that ship will be so much faster than others because someone gets downed, the other person can run to that station and just keep things moving. But yeah, the person is going to be something to deal with. Now I don't know if
Yes,
it can
sir.
actually crash. The point of it can actually break through another ship. I don't know about that. But then again, what's his name again? We talk about Maelstrom. He might come back. Thurston.
Torsten,
Torsten,
yes.
Torsten, he might surprise us all. He might surprise us all.
Well, I mean that the Hammerhead is supposed to be able to do that, so
Yeah.
but the only thing I can see with the Perseus is that it does look like a boat, so it would be
Yeah.
possible to have buoyancy, but
That
that
would
would
be cool.
render the bottom turret irrelevant. So,
Right. Unless you switch them out for torpedoes.
Oh, yep, you could do that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. And you have missiles that yeah. Torpedoes would be cool, especially if you have ships, actual ships in game, or alien cultures that use ships. I don't know. It's
Makes
endless,
sense to me.
man. It's endless. It's endless.
All right, Kimmy.
All right.
You have a
Arbiter?
good start to your
Yes,
week, brother.
sir. It's gonna be crazy, but all the best, y'all. Let's go.
07.
07, sir. Chat 07s. It's about that bottom line.